the Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And you're stinky.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys. Three boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Baskell, a pretentious shadow of my high school self.
And I am John Gilardi, a sucker for monologues.
And I'm Christian Ames, a guy who spent an exorbitant amount of money on film school and didn't put it to use.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
well,
guys. Good morning.
What can you infer what this episode will be about
What is
from
this-
those intros?
Yeah, what is this episode about? I know that there's someone out there taking the track.
Well, I think the guess would be about our childhood or our film career.
Yeah.
Which it isn't actually at all. It's this is an episode where we are going to talk our favorite three films / our favorite three most recommendable movies that we watch. Obviously, not including Star Wars, Lord of the Rings,
Or Batman.
or Avengers, or just kind of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Unless we specifically had
Jedi?
one movie from
Oh, no.
this MCU, that's fine. But just as those are kind of the general grounds, we didn't have to establish those rules ourselves. That would just be kind of lame.
Yeah. Especially because they're out there so much. It's like you don't need to recommend this movie.
Exactly. Yeah. So, we decided Christian was going to go first.
Yeah, Christian's going to start us off.
Yeah. So again, we have
Yeah,
three
so-
movies.
What
So my
movie are you
number three-
recommending for us first, Christian?
I kind of played Desert Island with
Okay.
this. So my number 3 movie, starting from the bottom, is Rocky, circa 1976.
Well, I think that's fair. I think there's a lot of people, and younger people especially, that haven't seen it. So I think I think you could throw a recommendation angle on this and not Desert Island so much.
It's a good one to start with.
Yeah.
All right,
I think
so
Desert
here's
Island's
my
a good way to do
synopsis.
this.
Here's my synopsis of Rocky.
Do it.
Philly native, scrappy, southpaw boxer Rocky Balboa gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to face off with reigning heavyweight champion Apollo Creed. What happens? Well, the film unfolds, and as it unfolds, it unfolds. So that's the synopsis.
Yeah,
of
that
Rocky.
movie is about
And-
the best origami artist in Philadelphia ever. All that folding and unfolding.
I love this movie so much because this movie set the precedent for fighting movies. And this movie is so much more than just the boxing match. Like all the other Rocky movies are about the fight and about the training montage and about the opponent. But this movie lingers on so much of Rocky's personal life and his shithole apartment and his turtles and his relationship with Adrian. And it's it's just such a beautiful, poetic movie.
When was the first time you saw Rocky?
College.
Me too. I took a screenwriting class, and my teacher treated it like a master class on screenwriting, which I think it is pretty solid at. Especially, it's a boxing story, but it's not about boxing. It's not about the fight. So I think that's obviously everything you just said. But it's even more impressive that it was Sylvester Stallone wrote it, and it was his own. It was his baby.
He was like, "Don't you dare let me not be that."
Yeah.
He directed that too, yeah?
Yeah, I think. I think
No,
it was-
he didn't. He didn't direct it. He wrote the screenplay. I can't. Shit. I looked up the director and I forgot his name, but it wasn't directed by Sylvester Stallone.
It was a great way to put himself on the map.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it's such a poetic movie, and there's so many beautiful moments in it, and so there's so much nuance and little intricacies in Rocky's character, and it's just beautiful. I didn't watch it till college, and I knew he lost the fight, and I remember thinking, spoiler alert, Rocky loses the fight by the points at the end of the fight. And I remember thinking, that's stupid. Why the fuck do people like this movie? He loses? What kind of sports movie where the guy loses? But he doesn't lose. He doesn't lose. It's a movie. It's all about learning to take the punches and get back up, metaphorically and literally. God, this movie is so fucking good. And I've seen it probably 7 times, and it only gets better every time I've seen it.
Now, where do you
It's
stand?
so good.
I'm gonna interview you here for a little bit, Christian. How do you stand that movie against the other ones? Like, is it the same, or like compare it to the other movies like Rocky 2 or all of them,
Or the Creed ones. Even.
Yeah, or even Creed. I haven't seen any of those yet. I'm
Really?
disappointed.
Those are a treat.
Dude.
I know.
Okay, I was gonna say. Thank you for bringing that up, Patrick.
You're welcome.
I was gonna say the next movie in the Rocky series that holds up to the first Rocky is Creed.
Okay.
The first Creed. I still love all the Rocky movies. Rocky 5, maybe we can throw that one out. we can toss that one. But all the Rocky movies ultimately come down to fighting and just grinding and going against the grain, trying to fight that fight.
Yeah.
That fight of your life, but it's
proving
not
yourself.
just about the
Yeah.
fight.
To yourself.
Is Sylvester
exactly.
Stallone?
You're trying to prove something to yourself, which is a quote that I don't want to spoil in Creed, but Creed, dude, Michael B. Jordan has a quote in Creed that sent me into tears.
I've only seen. I saw Rocky, and I mean Apollo. Is it Apollo Creed?
Yeah.
So that's my exposure to him.
What happens in
Is-
Rocky
is
2?
from-
Sorry.
I don't know. I've only seen Rocky.
Rocky
And
2.
so-
Rocky 2 is where
Oh,
Rocky
sorry.
gets the comeback match against Apollo Creed.
Okay.
So with that said, I've only seen the first Rocky. I saw Apollo. I had heard something about the Russian dude, and I inferred it all from Creed. But I've only seen the first Rocky and Creed 2, and without having seen the rest, Creed and Creed 2 hit so hard just because they're really good stories, and they set it up within the movie itself.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if
it's
you
so good.
haven't seen Rocky 3, Rocky 3, Apollo Creed trains Rocky.
Would you recommend it to me?
So
Yeah.
absolutely. So, dude, okay, Apollo Creed. So, Rocky 3 is the movie where Eye of the Tiger made its name. That's the movie because Apollo says, like, Rocky, you lost the Eye of the Tiger. He wasn't hungry anymore. He didn't have that. And he says, like, Rocky, the first time I fought you in Rocky 1, that movie from 1976, you had the Eye of the Tiger. You lost the Eye of the Tiger. I'm going to give it back to you, and you're going to beat Mr. T.
Mm.
And
Huh.
he beats Mr. T.
Doesn't Mr.
Sorry, I'm a Rocky expert.
Okay. Well,
So,
I love Rocky because I'm from Philadelphia originally, and that's the only movie I think that paints Philadelphia in a positive light. And I think that that's warranted too.
That is also true.
Well, yeah, you know what? You convinced me. I'm gonna watch Rocky 2, 3, 4, 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed,
You can,
and Creed 2.
Patrick, you can skip 5. You can skip
I'm
5.
gonna watch
I'm telling you right now, you
I'm
can
gonna
skip
watch
5.
it.
Just reserve it for
It would
background
help.
movie.
It would
I'm a
help to watch it,
completionist.
but
I'm
you
not
can
gonna-
skip it if you want to.
Is
but
Sylvester
it's-
Stallone
I-
the beginning of Vin Diesel? Because they've essentially both had the same career where it's like Sylvester Stallone was like, I'm picking my freaking franchises and I'm going to do them to death. And then Vin Diesel was like, all right, I do Fast and the Furious.
Well, he didn't
and
want
I do
to.
Pitch Black.
Yeah. Well, Vin Diesel's career is interesting. There's a really good Funhouse video that breaks it down. But he's like the
just
mixture
to
of
sum up,
The Rock
just to
and
end.
who else?
A big old fucking nerd is what.
Yeah,
he
he's
is.
like this mixture of. But I don't know. He's a movie star. Sorry, what were you saying, Christian?
I was gonna finish my Rocky synopsis
Oh,
with
sorry, bud.
the fact that Rocky doesn't win the battle at the end of the fight. He didn't get knocked out, but the first thing he does, he doesn't care about the fight. He just screams for Adrian, and everybody knows it's quoted Adrian, but he doesn't care about the fight. He doesn't give a fuck about Apollo Creed. All he cares about is Adrian. That was the fight he was trying to win.
He already won that.
And there's
He-
this
he already
beautiful,
won.
intimate scene where he's in his mirror and he's practicing a pickup line for Adrian. And it's so weird and it's so shitty and borderline cringy, but he's just, all he cares about is Adrian. And at the end of the movie, all he cares about is Adrian. And he just screams for her. And that was the fight that he was trying to win. And it's, man, this movie's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I love Rocky. If you've never seen Rocky, you live under a pun intended, a rock.
I think we gotta move on. But I think one of my favorite things about it was it had an indie film vibe, which kind of made it. I feel like it had a lot of soul and heart to it, which
Yeah.
also I think is another huge appeal to it and why it's so
Yeah.
likable.
It definitely
Anyways,
had a
let's move
DIY
on.
Feel.
Yeah. What do you got first, Patrick?
Well, the movie that I'm gonna recommend to you guys is it's a little movie, foreign film called Parasite.
Okay. I almost put that on my list.
Ooh.
Parasite, winner of the 2020 Best Picture. So
yeah, to
I
Trump's
guess,
dismay.
yeah. Oh, how dare it? Oh,
A
whatever.
non-American film. It's just instilling.
Yeah, great job.
Wait, what's the phobia called?
Xenophobia.
Yeah, just instilling xenophobia.
But so essentially, the synopsis of Parasite is there's a poor family, and they gotta pay their Wi-Fi bill, and so the son gets a job as a tutor for this very, very, very wealthy family, set in Korea, by the way. And they slowly, the whole poor family, sort of scam or parasitic. Oh my God, I can't say. I was trying to parasitic.
Parasitic.
Oh, Yeah.
Parasitically, oh my gosh, parasitically insert themselves into this rich family's into home and working in different capacities, and then there's a secret.
Yeah,
and that's kind of you
can't say too much though.
Yeah,
we touched on it earlier with our was it Ravenous with like the left turn films?
Yeah.
So.
Well, we did we were driving on it. Yeah,
I
mean, and that's one of the reasons why I love it.
Yeah. Well, probably why it's so recommendable is that Korean films, it's a smaller country, and when they make blockbusters, they try to make mass appeal films for every type of person in their country. So they're super genre blending, which is now something we see a lot of in the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
You have thrillers mixed with comedy, mixed with action. You have, I don't know, just a war film mixed with action. It's always mixed with action.
Espionage.
Yeah, but like, so if you don't know what genre blending is, that's basically what you see with Marvel films. But I mean, Parasite hits so many genres, so many tones, and it's so cohesive. It's so good.
And that's one of the things that makes it for me. It's like recommendable.
Yeah,
and also because one of the criteria that I kind of went with is like because I did so many because there's so many different like trying to your top 3 movies is the criteria I went with Desert Island is good, and Parasite would still be on that Desert Island, I think, but I don't know if it makes the top 3 just because of like
I don't know how rewatchable it is.
I mean,
it's super rewatchable, but
I watched it 3 times in a week, and I kind of was like, because the first time I went to see it, I thought that it was like a Korean body horror movie, or something like that, and then I was absolutely 100% taken off guard, and I fucking loved it.
Yep.
And so like these were the movies that I would either like want to watch with somebody to kind of like test our friendship, not test our friendship, be like, hey, listen, I like you a lot. These are movies that I love that I want to share with you, and then if you hate them, then I hate you.
Yeah.
That's not true, but close.
I remember the first I saw this movie luckily in a theater in our hometown with you guys, and I think you both told me not to look up trailers for it, like not to look up what it's about. So I was taken off guard completely.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to expect, especially with the title Parasite.
Yeah.
I expected like a horror movie, like zombie shit or something, but wow.
And
this
I think
movie
that for me is sorry, Christian. But I think for me, again, like that's one of the reasons it made it so special. Because when I was trying to put it together on my list, I was like, what made this special for me? That like, because like, there's not a lot of times because I didn't watch any trailers. I was just like, I knew that people were wanting to see it, and it's like that's really hard to accomplish these days. Where it's like there's so much material out there for you to consume to try and figure it out. Especially trailers, you watch like it's essentially they're giving you a 2-minute long version of the movie. And so like,
dude, trailers, that's another conversation to be had. Like trailers now give away the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious.
Well, then now that Marvel again games it though. I mean, the most obvious one is Hulk coming out. In the Infinity War. Yeah. Or whatever the first part one is. But then he has his problem. He can't be the Hulk, so he comes out in the action movie in the Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I drove 2 hours to see it. Because I went to an Alamo Draft House because it wasn't wide release yet. It was before.
Parasite?
Yeah, Parasite.
Oh.
No, not Marvel.
I was like, Infinity War? Why'd you have to go to well?
Staying on
I
topic.
thought that too.
Well, I went off topic. Now I'm bringing it back on
Yeah,
topic.
he is.
But yeah, I went 2 hours to go see it. It was limited release, and Alamo Drafthouse was a lot of fun to go to in the first place. But but going that far,
Little plug there.
yeah, just to watch him,
Sponsored by
to
Alamo
watch a movie
Drafthouse.
that was super hyped up before like it really got well known was kind of a cool little like hipster kind of
Yeah.
experience, and I loved it. I love Korean films actually. So I actually know a decent amount about Korean films. I did a thesis paper on it, but it was really cool to see.
That was the hardest thing for me because in our little criteria that we were trying to put together as we were putting together our lists
Yeah,
is like films that are similar. And a lot of the movies on my list, are not, they're on my list because they are reasonably unique.
yeah,
Or it's hard to find that. Like the similar films that I would say if I'm recommending, it's kind of like Snowpiercer, which again, same director.
yeah.
It's also kind of like Burning, which is a Korean film. Which if you haven't seen Burning, it's a long, slow burn, and it's a real fucking wild adventure. It's very, very similar to Parasite
Okay.
in a lot of ways. I actually thought it was the same director and same actor.
Huh.
That one's about a guy who's maybe burning down sheds, but maybe the sheds are actually women, and also maybe he's making it up the whole time. He's writing a novel,
All
but
right.
maybe he's not. I don't know. I came to the end of
Woof.
it. Stephen Yeun is in it. It's so fucking good. Plays with a lot of the same things like classism and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Shutter Island, because I was like trying to think of like,
Oh, you're relating? Okay.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch Shutter Island without spoiling it, but it fits that blend of like you need to rewatch it
Yeah.
with people.
yeah,
I mean, Fight Club is one, the
Mhm.
obvious one.
Fight Club, and for me, Us too,
Yeah, definitely.
because
Even-
I like in watching Us the second time, and I feel like I've already talked about this on this
yeah.
podcast.
I mean, Get Out, same thing.
Yeah, but Us for me is like trying to figure out the world and the rules in which he has,
Yeah.
because they're tethered. We could go into the whole thing.
Yeah, I think
There's
that
a
movie
reason
would-
they're called the tethered.
I haven't
So
seen it a
good.
second time, and I didn't love it the first time. It was good, entertaining, but I think a second viewing of that one would
Yeah. Okay, John, it's your turn.
be helpful.
We're
Movie
we
number
love
3
talking.
for John.
Yeah. We got
What do we
20 minutes
got?
in. We got 2 movies out of 9. I'll make this one quick. I have no particular order, and this isn't like a huge film or a critically acclaimed one, but it's Fury with Brad Pitt.
Oh, nice.
Actually, a really good cast: Brad Pitt, John Bernthal, Michael Pena, and Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
And
Logan
then-
Lerman.
Yeah, then the fifth guy who's more or less a surrogate. Doesn't really matter who he is.
Poor Logan Lerman.
But it's about a Sherman tank crew. So there's 5 people in a Sherman tank crew. So it's the 4 are named, and then Logan Lerman.
Logan Lerman, yeah.
So he's the new guy to the tank crew, and he's a surrogate. So you're kind of seeing everything through his perspective, and so it's really immersive, and it's just I don't know. It's just a World War II film that's well done. It's made. It doesn't stick to tired and true tropes. It has a sense of being fresh, almost like I don't know. I'm like losing all articulateness talking about this film, but
Because he loves it so much.
Dude,
I love
it's
what-
all
I
good,
just-
man. Just vent about the film. Like, just talk. Don't worry about it. Just talk about what you love about this film.
yeah. Well, I
It's
think
a-
I
dude,
think
I watched this with you, and having you with me to like talk me through it because John is our resident historian. It's so helpful.
Yeah, it's about tank crew at the end of World War II. So the war's over, and they're fighting essentially children, and it's either like children that have been drafted to fight or like fanatics, like crazy hardcore soldiers. And so there's this weird balance of like desperate warfare from both sides. You have children soldiers with Panzerfaust, shooting tanks, and then you have crazy dudes, SS. And I think what I like about it is it just has a good kind of unfiltered view at it without feeling too much like a utterly realistic sim. Like
Mhm.
if you relate it to video games, it's not arcadey, but it's not like a simulation. It's like a good kind of middle place, with the gore and the kind of the overtones and the themes. And obviously, it was one of the first films that had really modern, new, cool World War II tank battles with like skimming shells. So like one of the big
Dude,
things with
it's
tank.
so claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like the whole thing takes place for the most part inside of
yeah.
this tank, and you really feel it.
I think a fucking dope VR game would be that. It would be so easy, and you could do it sitting.
Oof.
They may have Star Trek Bridge Crew, but I think a tank crew game could be cool. But it's a great movie. I liked it a
TM,
lot.
That's our idea. We're gonna develop that and
Yeah.
sell it.
And I mean, this sounds cheesy, but if it was almost like for watching a movie, that was like if I were to make a movie, that's the movie I wanted to make, or like I felt like I made that. Not or kind of just like it hit so well on my creative kind of beats and things I've tried writing with war films, or ideas I've had, or ways to communicate things, or even ways to show things with the special effects or the level of technical kind of things shown mixed with just entertainment. And the performances are great. Shia LaBeouf, I think that was kind of one of the first films in his kind of renaissance or building back respect as an actor. Because he kind of, at least in some circles, I think he just like went crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole thing. We could do a whole Shia LaBeouf podcast.
That'd be fun. Because I did like Even Stevens, so I've been like watching that guy for,
I love that
for a while.
dude.
And did you guys watch his table reading?
Yeah.
Did you watch it before?
I didn't watch it. I watched it like not as it was happening, but I watched like the clips of it.
Oh god,
it looks so.
Wait, so I didn't see that. Can you sum it up, John?
They're doing a table reading of
Fast Times at
Ridgemont High, and he's Spicoli, and you have like Dane Cook, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston.
Very famously, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, what's up, guys?" Yeah. Everyone wants them to get back together.
And Sean Penn, and they're all table. Morgan Freeman's the narrator, and Shia LaBeouf again. He's doing Spicoli, and he's just getting fucked up. Like so
he is
just
gone.
So he's just playing with like he's super high, super drunk probably, and he's like doing like physical comedy in terms of his body and like kind of the way he's performing in the space. He's also in his garage in a car.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of funny in itself.
Yeah.
You got to watch the clips. It's good.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was my
if you ever want to get a piece of John's brain, watch Fury.
Yeah. It's a cool movie. It's a good mix of action and anti-war kind of sentiment. A lot of cool scenes, especially where they commandeer the kitchen with the German family. Like the tension in that is so good, and Brad Pitt's character is so ambiguous but almost paternal, and
almost
you trust him. The characters are great in it.
That movie is great for me because it's a World War II movie. We have a lot of World War II movies.
Yeah,
but also it's a small slice of something that is so big.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. You
can
do that with anything, and I think there's so many
the
stories
small
to be told.
slices are the best.
Yeah.
Except of pizza.
Yeah, I don't like the 1/16 slices.
Yeah, those are too little.
I hate when they do that at soccer parties. It's like I'm gonna eat.
No, give me.
anyways.
All right, well, fine. I'm gonna have 4 slices then, and then you can only count this as 1 slice.
Yeah.
Don't count this as 1 slice. This is a tiny little sliver of pizza.
Indeed.
All right, Christian, your second movie.
All right, my second movie is Hook.
Ooh.
From when was it? 1991. 1991. All right, synopsis. Peter Pan grows up, starts a family, and forgets Neverland. But when Captain Hook takes his children hostage, the now adult Peter Banning is forced to reconcile with his past and face his greatest fears as well as his most cherished memories.
Did you write these synopsis?
It is starring the late Robin Williams, and it is probably my favorite childhood movie, and I have watched this movie probably 20 times, and it has aged so well, like a fine wine.
I will say you recommended this movie to me, and I loved it. So,
dude, okay, so little fun fact. So the screenwriter, wait, I got his name. Screenwriter Jim Hart. His son, his 9-year-old son at the time, asked him, "What would happen if Peter Pan grew up?" And that spawned the idea for this movie.
That's awesome.
And on set, Robin Williams, so that the screenwriter's son, who I believe was named David, was on set for most of the shoot, and Robin Williams repeatedly thanked him and said, "Thanks for giving me a job." How wholesome is that? And there are pictures of him with the screenwriter's son. It's just adorable. So this movie is just, it's so fucking good. It's got Robin Williams. Anything with Robin Williams is good. But Robin Williams plays the duality of like, so it's grown-up Peter Pan. He's a businessman. He's running a business. He's on his cell. He's got a cellular telephone that he's always on, and he plays that duality versus when he becomes Peter Pan at the end of the film so well. And I think my favorite thing about this movie is that Hook, who is portrayed by Dustin Hoffman, is kind of the good guy. He's not the good guy in the sense that, like, yeah, he wants to kill the Lost Boys. He kills Rufio. He's an asshole.
Rufio.
But
Rufio.
when at the beginning of the movie, when he recognizes Robin Williams as Peter Pan, he's so disappointed. He's like, "Oh, you're fat. You're afraid of heights. You can't fly." But then when Robin Williams comes soaring in at the end of the film, Hook is just so enthralled. He's like, "Peter's back. It's time to have a sword duel." I've always thought about, why is the movie called Hook? And like Dustin Hoffman, it's tough to say who steals the show, Dustin Hoffman or Robin Williams. Like, they play off each other so well. And also, okay, I also got to say this while I'm just gushing over this movie. The sets in this movie, it's all practical effects, practical sets. There's a little bit of like drawn, like painted, animated backdrops, but they add to this feel of like mystical Neverland. And it has aged so well. I absolutely adore this movie so much.
I think that's something that I'm coming to like realize about myself, is that I fucking hate CGI stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the more you can do, because I was actually also just coincidentally watching, like, there's like a hour and 20-minute Dark Knight trilogy documentary or something like that on YouTube. It's actually really good. It's really cool. There's a lot of like screen tests and stuff. Anyway, that's but all
That
those
sounds
sets are
fascinating.
practical.
Yeah.
And that's something that Steven Spielberg, who directed Hook, right?
Yes, he did.
So it's like three great people at the height of their powers. Dustin Hoffman fucking chewing scenery. Robin Williams just fucking making me fall in love with him and making little Patrick want to be like him. And like, then Steven Spielberg being like, I'm gonna play with kid stuff and play pretend, just like you guys always wanted to. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Dude, that's what this movie feels like. And
I'm
going
gonna
to
watch this movie tonight.
Just playing pretend.
I'm going to
my
watch
God.
Hook tonight.
Nice. Do it.
Recommended.
Dude, also, I just got to give a shout out to Tink's Wish. You guys remember that scene?
No.
I've only seen it once. What is it?
So Tinkerbell in the classic Peter Pan mythos is very jealous of Wendy because Tink loves Peter Pan. But in Hook, she's grown up a little bit. So fairies get one wish. And Tinkerbell's one wish is to grow to human size just so she can give Peter a kiss. And she kisses Peter, and then she goes back to fairy mode forever.
But
and
it's
so tragic thinking about that as an adult. It's so fucking sad.
But it's also so wholesome. Like, it's not like, it's just the littlest thing.
Pun intended. Dude, there's so... Oh, also, one last thing. John Williams. John Williams makes this movie just like he does with every movie. John Williams is the man. He does the soundtrack for this. Who remembers? Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-da-da. Where's the hook? Hook. Wait, sorry. I'm
Consider
Anyways,
it recommended.
we can move on. I Hook, if you haven't seen Hook before, go watch it. It's incredible. Similar movies, anything Disney, Home Alone, Mrs. Doubtfire, The Pagemaster, Goonies, anything with Robin Williams.
Just like that quirky PG rating, like late 80s, early 90s kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Goonies
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
But I feel like Hook and Mrs. Doubtfire are the best of those.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Mr. Mom and all of those ones that are like PG sort of kid / adult comedies
yeah.
are like all built off of like Mrs. Doubtfire and Hook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So my second
but yeah.
movie is it's another foreign film, but it's not how you would expect it to be. It's a movie called Diamantino, and I wrote a little synopsis for it. It's not the synopsis from the thing. This is my synopsis. This is my pitch to you. There's a soccer player. He's a Cristiano Ronaldo type, and he's playing in the World Cup, and he fucks shit up. He misses up the thing. He misses the shot, which messes up a whole bunch of stuff. And again, it's been some seconds since I saw it because I didn't refresh on it.
Is it Colombian?
No, he's in Europe.
Okay, because that's a real thing that happened, so I wasn't sure if it was based off of it.
I don't think so. I don't know. No, because they're in Europe.
Okay.
So it meshes up a whole bunch of stuff. Apparently, I think his sisters are like Cinderella stepsister type stuff. So maybe they bet on the game, but they're definitely mooching off of him. But anyway, he messes up in the World Cup, and then he goes out on his yacht, his like sexy yacht, to do a party, and he sees some like refugees coming on the boat to the European country that he's at. I'm pretty sure it's like Spain. I have no idea. I'm really doing a great job with
Probably
this.
Spain.
I think it's Spain. But anyway, so he sees some refugees coming, and he decides to quit soccer, and he's going to adopt a refugee and try and help the refugees. But so like there's like this like big conspiracy or something like that, because the European CIA, they send this black lady to dress as a young African boy, and he adopts her as his son because she's a refugee. And then so there's a bunch. Then they do experiments on him. He grows boobs. He kills some clones of himself with a sword. He hooks up with his adopted daughter.
The soccer player?
Yeah.
What? This just really took a left turn.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty wild.
I feel like I'm dreaming right now.
It did. It felt like a dream. And then like he revealed to be like an undercover, like they were trying to use his DNA. But the thing is like I'm telling you this stuff, and I've given away the whole movie, but I haven't because you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm interested.
And so one of the reasons that he's good at playing soccer is because whenever he's on the football field, he sees the field as a giant like pink pillow, and there's a bunch of giant puppies around. So when he loses the World Cup, the puppies go away, and he's like, the puppies went away, and he's the dumbest. Like he plays it up to the point where he is completely oblivious. He is very dumb, and he's narrating the whole thing. It's so funny. It is so funny.
I mean, I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I'm very intrigued. I'm having a hard time actually grappling with the visuals of this movie.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
But it sounds fascinating.
It's a really weird movie, but it's it's kind of one where it's like you gotta kind of see it.
Sounds like someone dreamed and then they wrote the screen.
Yeah, it absolutely feels like that. But the man grows boobs. The man grows boobs, and he's like, these are great. And he like, I don't know if I want to get rid of them. And then his girlfriend is like, you should get rid of them. I don't know. And then they have a sex scene with both of them having boobs on a yacht as they're going to. Fuck? Yeah, it's so fucking good.
And
what is your biggest takeaway from this movie, Patrick?
Sorry to bother you.
Like, what's the theme?
What is your Man, my biggest takeaway was write what's in your heart and just put it out there, and someone will find a way to give you money to make it.
What was it called?
Diamantino.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just like I don't know of any similar films to this.
Dude, but that's what intrigues me about it. It sounds unlike anything I've ever seen. And that's really hard to do.
I definitely
When did this come out?
Look up some clips and watch it.
Oh man.
I have no idea exactly what you said, Christian, to picture it.
Dude, I'm trying to picture. I want to see a double tittied sex scene, but with a guy with tits.
I mean, there he is playing on his.
Oh wait, is it a relatively new film?
Yeah, 2018.
Oh, I recognize that art.
Oh, so pretty recent.
2018. Okay. I saw it at a film festival. Again, my introduction was correct.
Was it pretentious?
Pretentious shadow of my high school self. I'm trying to pull up a picture of him with boobs.
Dude, I love it though. Like, we need to get some weird stuff. Can you imagine if this entire podcast we were all like, my top 3 films are Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, and Ant-Man. Those are my top 3 movies. They're my favorite.
I like when Michael Pena does the narrations.
Yeah. But
You sound like such pretentious dickbags.
Yeah, well, there we go, guys. You're welcome. So, yeah, now it's John. Tell us your second movie.
So my second movie is Good Will Hunting.
Ooh.
I think this movie is very rewatchable for me. And I think that's also why it's recommendable, is I can, like, hey, you want to watch Good Will Hunting? And then I could see people enjoy it and rewatch it. And I think what I like about it is it's such a slice of life film, but it has like 5 slice of lives with like good stuff connecting it. But so it's about, it's starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and then Casey Affleck. And it's basically just like...
And who else?
What's her name?
Robin Williams.
Oh, shit. What the fuck? Yeah, Robin Williams.
Yeah, dude.
And also, oh
Come
my God,
on.
what is her name?
It's like...
Mari.
It's like a really catchy name. What's her name?
Mari Shannon.
Minnie Driver.
Yeah, that's it.
Minnie Driver.
Minnie Driver.
Mari Shannon.
Anyway, so that's a
You're
great
welcome.
cast.
You're welcome. I got you.
Thank you so
So
much.
Matt Damon's this like genius, like one in a billion genius.
He just fucking gets it, dude.
Yeah, he's a custodian at MIT, which is a great school where there are a lot of geniuses. But he, as a custodian, he's kind of like under the radar, and he does this math problem on the board that no one could solve. And so it kind of goes along this journey of kind of his potential and holding back. And it's kind of a film. It's about a story about discovering that and kind of getting over himself and just accepting who he is and kind of taking his gift and doing something with it, because he's kind of a smug dickhead, dickbag. And through all it...
Oh, he's a total dude.
Yeah. And through all of it, he has Robin Williams. He has to go to... So he makes friends with the professor, and one of the deals is he has to go
to a therapist.
So he goes to Robin Williams. And it's such a good quotable movie in terms of the monologues. There's so many amazing moments. You can have the part where there's this douchebag in Cambridge, like flirting with girls, like being talking about history and like economics of like 1800s France or something. And Will Hunting comes in and he just murders the guy because he read the book once, but he memorized every page because he's, again, one in a billion genius. He just makes him look like a dumbass, and then he impresses the girl, and then there's the whole thing with do you like...
How about them apples?
Yeah. Or he's like, do you like apples? Or something
I
like
got
that?
a number.
What was it?
Yeah, he says, like, do you like apples?
Do you like apples?
Yeah, and he's like, I guess.
How about them apples?
Yeah, and he's like, how about them apples? And he puts her number up. I mean, there's so many good moments. There's parts where he confesses his just kind of upbringing through the foster system, and the abuse he took, and the emotional kind of moment between him and his girlfriend, Minnie Driver, at that time is so, I don't know, it always hits me because it's like a super extreme relationship fight, and if you've ever had a taste of that, I don't know, it just kind of hits hard, and there's like just anger, and then there's like love chasing it, and it's I don't know, it's super powerful. And then Robin Williams, his monologues are just amazing, kind of talking about
Dude,
my wife used to falling asleep.
What was that?
My wife used to fall.
Yeah, I mean, that's great too.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about actually living life, because he was like, Will, you read all these things and you think but have you loved? Have you seen your love of your life die? Have you been to war? You've read about those things, but I've lived them. And like, I think that was a big moment where he kind of learned, like, I need to go live life and do stuff. I don't know. I've been
Ben
rambling.
Affleck's monologue where
Ben
he's
Affleck's like, yeah, if you're here tomorrow, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And he's like, my favorite part of my day.
wait, John, you can do a better impression than
My favorite
that.
part
Come
of
on.
my day.
John, come on, do it.
Go to your roots, John. Embrace the
What is it?
evil.
If I fucking kill you, I don't know.
we got him, guys.
Yeah, and then Ben Affleck's character, he's the pretty classic Boston townie, and he he knows Will's special and he wants Will to do well, and so he has this whole bit where he like his favorite thing or the moment he looks forward to is when he goes to pick Will up to go work at the construction site or go work at whatever job they have, is that Will isn't there because he left. And I've said all these things that I haven't spoiled it because it's a movie that you enjoy because of the performances, because of the dialogue, the screenwriting, and just the emotional kind of journey it takes you on. I don't know. I really like that movie. I could rewatch it again and again.
And then Ben Affleck's character in that movie is his character in The Town.
Yeah, I mean it's the same.
I still haven't seen
Boston
The Town.
Towny vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Town's pretty good.
The Town is pretty
it's a
good.
good heist
My
film.
wife,
It's a little bit
my wife
long, but-
won't rewatch it with me. She's
It's
seen
really
it
good.
and she said it's really fucking sad, and she doesn't want to watch it.
It is really fucking sad. I can confirm that.
But
Yeah.
if you like The Town, you might like Good Will Hunting. But I've rambled on about it. Do you have any input on Goodwill? Goodwill Will?
Dude, I was gonna say I'm really happy somebody chose Good Will Hunting, because going off my first choice, Rocky is all about like the fight and like choosing the fight when you don't want to do it, because there's a point in the film in Rocky where Rocky doesn't want to fight Apollo Creed. He's like, "Oh, I don't need to do it, Mick." And Mick's like, "You got hot. All these other guys, they got talent, but you got hot, Rock." And that's exactly the same sentiment in Good Will Hunting. Is, dude, you've, just like Ben Affleck tells him, you're sitting on a fucking winning lottery ticket and you're too much of a fucking pussy to cash it in. Half
There we
these guys
go.
would fucking kill to have what you got.
Yep.
If you don't cash in this fucking lottery ticket, I'll fucking kill you. And that's exactly what Mick tells Rocky. So I'm so happy you chose that, dude, because it's the same sentiment. Like, you have the talent. Just fucking do it, man. Just do it.
Just
So,
Yep.
just do it. Anyways, all right. Are we moving on
I'm
to my
glad we've
number
got
one
two
film?
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I love that man.
That's by far my favorite performance of him.
Dude, oh my God. That
Almost probably
scene-
one of my favorite performances
don't
ever,
get me
I would say.
started on that scene.
Top
When
5 to 10,
when
easily.
Robin Williams rips apart Matt Damon.
Yeah. And then
just
it's not your fault. You
tears
even talk
his
about
life
that.
apart.
Oh my gosh.
It's not your fault.
That long take on the bench in Boston. Holy shit.
Yeah. And, well, I love the editing in that film too. Last bit on it, but it holds on people who are listening to the dialogue really well, and it cuts back and forth. But it does that particularly with Will because it's Will's realization. But I love the editing there because most dialogue, super clean cut, black and white, is one person talks, cut to the other person talking back and forth, and they play with it really well with leading into or just lingering through lines and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I enjoy it. I dig it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's magical.
Now I want to watch that
When-
movie now.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Hey, this
I think maybe I just want to watch a bunch of Robin Williams movies because it's getting around that time of the year. It's
Yeah.
getting cold.
It is.
I wanna
Also,
feel
I just
the warmth of his
last
heart.
Good Will Hunting reference. I love the scene where he's talking to the gay therapist, and he's like, and you go into a club, and it's just like boom, 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 and the therapist is like, he's getting into it, and he's just like, and Matt Damon's just like, so how old were you when you realized you were gay? And he's like, excuse me. What are you talking about? Like, he can read the therapist better than the therapist can read him. Oh, man.
or
So
just
good.
last one, but it's a good car, dude. It's a good car.
So good. Anyways, all right. We
If you know,
moving
you
on to
know.
my top movie.
Yeah.
Oh, is it your top?
All right.
Okay.
My
doing
number
his
one
way.
movie, and this I was today when I was trying to choose this movie, I was just playing Desert Island, top movie of all time, and I had to say Hereditary.
Oh.
Wow. You really do like that.
Hereditary is my top movie of all time. And here's the synopsis
Oh, wow.
that
This
I
is-
came up with.
Hold on.
A
Hold
fa-
on. I'm
a fa-
watching Parasite right now because we just took. I don't fucking know where we're going.
Hold the phone.
Hold the phone.
So here's the synopsis of Hereditary, and you guys have both seen Hereditary, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
once.
All right,
I
I
watch it
don't
every
want to
night before
discuss
bed.
this too much because I don't want to spoil it for people, but here's my synopsis. A family copes with the loss of a family member, and their relationships deteriorate in the process. And that's
That
it.
is a broad
That's all I'm gonna
synopsis
say.
of that movie.
What I love about this movie
Yeah.
is like, I don't want to call it horror or genre. It's if dread was a genre, I would say dread. It's all about anxiety and isolation, and I guess a lot of people would
Guilt.
categorize it as like the horror genre, but it's not. It's so much more than that. It's the cinematography is so deliberate. I feel like most horror movies are very like hokey and kind of gimmicky, but this movie is such an incredible piece of cinema.
I mean, it's definitely a part of like there's been a wave in recent years of like really good directors using horror to sell their movies.
Yes.
You know? Like
And
I mean even The Witch where
The Witch,
like,
that was
holy
close
shit,
to
this
coming
is
on my
gorgeous.
list.
This is like and I think that people have just used the camera as a character.
Mm-hmm.
And to such to such a good degree.
Dude, the cinematography in this movie is so fucking good. Oh my God. It's just makes you feel at times like you're an outsider, but then it makes you feel so claustrophobic. And it's, God, there's so much I want to talk about this movie, but I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it.
I'll spoil
because
something. I think we're doing Halloween or horror stuff, and I don't think there's no way we don't cover Hereditary, so you will be able to.
Yeah. But that's really all I have to say.
What would you eat?
Oh, the acting is impeccable. Toni Collette just wears dread on her face like nobody else. Like she just and she was also, I was gonna say, for similar films, Sixth Sense, which Toni Collette played the mom in, and she just wears this sadness on her face, and she can emote this dread and just depression and hurt like nobody else I've ever seen.
What would you eat
Like
while you're watching this movie, Christian?
What's that?
What would you eat while you're watching this movie?
Nothing.
Okay.
Popcorn.
The movie is the treat.
Ooh.
Lightly buttered popcorn.
I think Toni Collette should have got an Oscar nomination for her performance in that movie.
Dude, you don't have to sell
I'm
me
surprised
on
she
that.
didn't.
She definitely should have.
Did she?
Toni Collette
She might
is...
have.
Jesus
I'm not gonna
Christ.
check it. I don't care.
So I put this movie up there. If anybody wants anything
That's all the
similar
case.
to this, it would be The Witch, Get Out, Midsummer, that was also directed by Ari Aster.
Yeah.
Who directed this.
I've got my list of best horror movies too.
Dude, this movie, like, I guess to sum this up, is that this is a horror movie that's also a fantastic piece of cinema.
Of Simba.
Cinema.
Cinnamon.
Cinema.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Why was the cinnamon challenge a thing?
I love this movie,
no.
and I don't want to talk about it anymore because we can't spoil it for people who haven't seen it.
Spoiler.
And it's so
we're gonna
good.
Well,
talk about it for October. And
You know, it'd
we're
be kind of fun. We recommended movies we all love. In time, we come back to each one of these
Oh yeah.
for a podcast.
Yeah.
And then hopefully y'all listen to our recommendations.
And watch some of them with you, and we could just spoil
Yeah.
the shit out of them.
Yeah.
My final movie, because I didn't go like 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1 or whatever. And again, this is like, I would watch this with someone that I love or want to be like, hey, here's the thing.
Make sure you love them.
Yeah, make sure I love them or whatever. It's The Social Network.
I was shitting on that last week.
Yeah, you were. That's okay. We're not friends anymore. No, but for me, but I also understand completely what you're saying.
I like the movie a lot. It's like 8 out of 10 movie for me. So
But for me, okay, here's a synopsis. Mark Zuckerberg made Facebook and is kind of an asshole, and you kind of like follow his journey.
Yeah.
But the reason that I love it, and it's kind of like what goes into like we were talking about Hook, how it's like Robin Williams at the height of his power, Dustin Hoffman just flexing those sweet old muscles, really like leaning into it, like chewing up the scenery as like a completely different Hook in a different way we've seen him. Steven Spielberg playing with practical sets and childhood imagination. John Williams just fucking slinging his big old fucking cock in the world and just being like, hey, here's some recognizable music you love. Here, you're going to feel feelings. Rufio. But the reason I love The Social Network is because it is like the perfect combination of all of its parts. Every single part of that movie. And I think the other thing that, like, as the pretentious asshole, you know, it's like the movie is great because I know about David Fincher and because I know Aaron Sorkin and I know their work ahead of time, and I already have that in my diet or in like my brain. So if you were to watch that and not have any of that like background information, the movie maybe will be boring.
Yeah.
You know, I think it still like kind of evokes like unconsciously, like, because the movie is so good for me, where everything drives you to feel how you feel, and that is dissatisfied. It is dissatisfied and unsure, because, I mean, I could talk about this movie for like a long time, but I don't have a long time. But David Fincher is allowed to be as meticulous and precise as he wants to be, and it fits the narrative because the person that they're showing is a meticulous and precise person. Those long, slow shots of him feeling alone while he's working through the night, him using every single opportunity that he can to get himself a little bit farther. You can see him want Sean Parker. Before Sean Parker even says a word, you can see him want what the idea is. Because it's not about him being powerful, it's about him having the idea of being cool, because it is just like he's just a small college kid who got shit on and fucking got back at people and just one-upped them along the way. And Aaron Sorkin, who I like Aaron Sorkin, who's a screenwriter for it, but I mean, he's a little verbose. He fucking talks a lot, and he's like, here's this long monologue, and we're going to walk down the hallway, and I'm going to be talking like this the entire time, and I'm just going to like say all these things and say these phrases, and I'm going to talk down to you a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit like this, and hey, this is me, Aaron Sorkin.
I think it tonally is all there. Like I think it's annoying and pretentious, but it's there, and it fits, and it should be there. It should be there, and it wouldn't be good any other way. But it just hits me that way.
That's why Jesse Eisenberg was perfect.
And I totally get it.
For Mark Zuckerberg.
I totally get it.
I can imagine Jesse Eisenberg talking like that in real life.
Is that not how he talks?
I'm pretty sure that's how he talks.
You suck.
And I think too, that maybe the better encapsulation for this movie, why it's on this list, is because like I would want to watch this movie with someone and then have a conversation with them and have them understand why I loved it, and have them able to be like, well, yeah, I get all those things, I still don't love it. And I'm like, that's okay. But for me, it's a movie that I would put on if I was hungover, because it's like, it clicks, like it's like a fidget box where it like hits all the things for me.
That's like fidget spinner.
Yeah. Or like, you know,
dude,
you're just like playing with stuff.
It is. I agree with you, dude. It's objectively a fantastic movie because it does a great job of kind of humanizing Mark Zuckerberg, which in this day and age,
and also
he's become the meme of the century with the lizard people alien meme.
That man, dude,
which is hilarious.
Man with his fucking sunscreen face.
You seen that where he's talking about smoking beats? It's so random.
He's on Facebook Live just talking like, you're smoking my meat.
I like to preambulate with my dog, like normal humans do.
Here I am in my backyard. Look, I have a grill. You can tell that I have a grill because it is smoking. I did not order these meats already cooked, and I'm not reheating them.
Bought them from Meat Locker, Meat Club, whatever it's called. I love that. I love, one of my favorite things is, I haven't seen it in a long time, but this is me remembering it, is that the pacing feels like bang, 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 but it's pretty, also takes its time. So it's kind of it probably has a lot of, it's in a sense a biopic, a very quick slice of time, slice of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it moves quick, but it takes its time, which I really like. And it, in a sense, is a period piece. It's a historical thing too. I love things about the process behind the scenes, the journey, the creation. So I like it a lot for those reasons.
Well, and one of the things that it does really good about being, even though it's about the process, it doesn't get into the details.
Yeah.
It gives you the exact right information and lets you go.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, John.
Well, I guess I can keep this Patrick's trend going more or less, but mine is City of God, a foreign film.
Ooh.
It's Brazilian. I think it was like 2001, but it's kind of about the favelas of Brazil and the kind of child gangs and the drug petty crime and the corrupt police and the press. So it's about this young guy, Rocket. He grows up, and then his brother is like I think they call him Hood, like their Hood. They call them Hood or something like that.
I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, it's been a while, but there's like some term. It's like a common term around today. But
Young boy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I made that up.
But it's like there's like these three guys, and they're like all the little kids in this neighborhood look up to them, and they get busted and they fall apart because they're just like teenagers who are trying to like rob and do crime. But it has this impact on this one guy, Lil Zay, and he essentially becomes kind of a drug lord, crime boss. But he's like probably like 17, 18 years old, and he employs like children, and it just, I don't know. It's super interesting. It's told very irregular. It's a very nonlinear story while still kind of being linear. It like interjects moments. It's super fast, hard hitting, super emotional, and it crosses lines that no American film would show or bother with, which I guess just makes it more visceral and interesting, and I guess like depressing and hard to watch in a sense. But it has its impact, and it's also the director. At the time, MTV was huge in music, like MTV music videos, and the film is very heavily influenced in the term that it feels very young and hip and fast cuts and nice and kind of well put together in that way. So it feels very modern. It feels like most foreign films, especially, kind of have the overtone of being very art house or artsy fartsy, where this doesn't feel like it. It's like it looks like a music video. Not really, but it's very visually appealing, and there's so many awesome set pieces. So there's an apartment, and it goes through in the middle of the movie, we get to it kind of zooms in on this apartment and the journey of this apartment, how it's gone through. It was like a woman's house, and then her husband died or something, and then she became kind of like a pimp for like, I don't know, like, but then it became the drug hideout, and then it became it just like. In the middle of the movie, it just kind of goes into that, and it has a lot of these moments. And then there's this one guy who's like this veteran from the Brazilian army, and it goes into his story and why he wants revenge on the gangs and this gang war that starts. And I don't know, the movie, it moves so well, but then it sidetracks to then give more context and more weight behind the story it's still telling. So it's really cool, the way it's done, and it's really entertaining. Huh. I did recommend it and watched it with Christian, so I don't know if you have any input or memory on that to validate my recommendation, maybe.
No.
Damn, dude. Damn.
I remember we watched
I'll
this
check
in
it
Argo,
out. I'll
and you were
check it
shooting
out.
on Argo.
I'll check it out.
We watched it. We
did?
We 110% watched it.
Oh my gosh.
Because
there's actual video of you guys. He's pulling it up on his phone right now, and he's like, there's video of you guys watching it together.
Yeah, we remember it was when Argo got nominated and won Best Picture, and we watched Argo, and then the next day or later that day, we watched City of God. On my recommendation, you were talking about how...
Oh, the Ben Affleck. Yeah, dude.
Do you remember City of God, the Brazilian film?
Dude, yeah, sorry. Just got a text on my phone.
Sorry, I texted him.
That was distracting.
Yeah, it was my penis.
Oh, I was like, wait, when did you text him?
I didn't actually. text him.
Oh.
I'm covering for him, though. I'm trying to help him out.
Argo, Ben Affleck.
I'm surprised you don't remember
basically, so Ben Affleck goes to Saudi Arabia, bombs a country.
Do you know what film
with
I'm
a
talking
giant
about?
atomic bomb, and it just sneaks out on a taxi that sprouts wings. It's like
really
chitty chitty bang bang.
You really weren't paying attention. It wasn't Argo. I was talking about City of God. I brought up Argo to bring it back.
Oh, yeah, that's the one where the guy like blows up the country.
In City of God?
No, that's Children of Men.
Oh shit!
I don't.
Fuck.
Okay,
I don't
well, this is
remember.
completely derailed. City of God is a great film. It's even so much so that like it's anywhere you look, it's very, very
That's
well
probably
rated.
the best film, like the one that was like the most passionate about, and we lost it for John. I'm so sorry. I haven't seen that movie, John.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen
Dude,
that
I've
movie.
definitely never
I'll
seen
watch it
that
with you.
movie. Also, yeah.
You say you definitely what? So, context actually. Christian's not here with us right now. He died. No, he's remote, so we're actually experimenting this so we can get guests later on. So that's why I guess we didn't contextualize that, but that's why maybe there's some weird not pacing, but like the rapport might seem a little weird. But
we're testing our guest
recording setup because they would have to be
yeah
piped in. Anyways, you've seen City of God. I know that for a fact, and I'm really depressed that you don't remember
Oh
it
my
because it is a
gosh.
good movie. And
John is crying.
I know.
He's ordering Chipotle right now.
Yeah, that's my happy food.
That's his happy food.
Well, anyways, I have a couple honorable mentions. I'll just kind of quickly chime off. I got Truman Show. I love that. I think the concept's awesome. It's a kind of a film where this guy's whole life is a reality TV show and he doesn't know it. It's really interesting. Jurassic Park. I love that. It's actually one of my favorite movies all time. It's not super recommendable to me because probably everyone's seen it, but it's amazing. And then I added Knives Out during this podcast. It's not particularly a top film for me of all time, but I think it's just really fun. And it's definitely rewatchable as a lot of your reasons were. So those are my honorable mentions.
Huh.
If anyone else has any.
I had some because I made a couple different lists, some of the best movies, and also I want to say in 3 months if I go over this list and listen to this, I don't think that I personally will agree with it. I mean I probably will, but I'm just there's such a recency bias with everything, and
you need to get a Letterboxd account. It's a really fun, easy way to organize your movies.
Because I would like to be. I think that I should have a top 100 that I can update after every year.
Oh, yeah. You think you could probably do that within the playlist or watch list system.
But some of the as I was trying to think about this for today's podcast, I was like, are these the best movies I've ever watched? And that would be Parasite, again for me, Inglourious Bastard, The Departed, Chinatown, Call Me by Your Name, The Social Network.
Oh, great.
Are these the movies that I enjoyed the most? Is Guardians of the Galaxy, The Dark Knight, Force Awakens? Those are or the Star Trek remake, the first one from 2009. Mm-hmm. They just feel good. I like watching them. I put them on. The most weird movies is Diamantino. I already mentioned that. I decided to put that on the list because I thought it was fun. Yeah. Another one called Knives and Skin, which is fucking ridiculous as well. Another fucking film show one. And then Sausage Party, which is just...
I watched that.
So fucking weird to
me.
I
was home months ago, or even I don't know when it was actually, but I was watching it on TV and I was like, oh man, I'm super curious what they do for the orgy scene on TV.
Oh yeah.
And it literally just cuts to black. And it's it's over.
It was on. Why would they even put it on TV?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Movies I have the best memory of, which I feel like is kind of what Christian went with.
Yeah.
It was Force Awakens, Fight Club, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then my best horror movies would be The Witch, The Thing, Midsommar, Get Out, and The Babadook.
Nice.
So those are a bunch. Those are a lot more honorable mentions.
Seen most of yours besides Babadook. We got no reviews, and we won't do what we're watching lately because of just almost kind of be an echo of, or the sentiment would be the same as us recommending movies for an hour.
I'm definitely going to watch Hook now.
Yeah. And Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Definitely watch both of you. And Chris, you got to watch it again, but
I'm going to watch
City of God.
City of God.
Children of the City of God.
Children of City of Men.
But yeah, guys, those are 9 movies we recommend. You can't go wrong with that. Let's add an extra one so it's an even 10.
Lisa Ann Cream Pie.
What's a 10
compilation?
Movie? Oh God.
Pornhub.com.
Okay, any so our 10th film will be any movie. Yeah, we don't like them all, but any movie that we've covered in a podcast. Go watch that as your 10th film. But
except for Guns Akimbo.
Yeah.
Or Mulan.
Well, I'm saying they're not all good, but pick one.
And then get back. Tell us which movies you recommend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Comment below your list.
Yeah.
Let's hear that.
Tell us your top 3 movies ever. Hit us up at that Stinky Podcast on Twitter and tell us some sexy stuff. Tell us your favorite movies. Tell us what your happy mood food is. Just talk to us.